Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to our podcast. Today, we're diving into a variety of topics that I'm sure you'll find both useful and fascinating. We'll be discussing how to improve your English, the challenges that come with it, and some insights into relationships. But before we dive in, I have a couple of questions for you. Firstly, what problems or challenges do you face while learning English? Secondly, what's the best advice you've ever received? Please drop your thoughts in the comments below. And now, let's get started. Hey Alex, do you ever feel nervous while speaking English with someone?
Not really, MIA. But why do you ask?
Well, I'm usually pretty confident speaking English, and I can even think in English fluently. But sometimes, when I have to speak, my mind goes blank, and I get really nervous. I end up feeling like I can't continue. Have you ever experienced something like that?
I completely understand. Feeling hesitant while speaking in a language that's not your native tongue is perfectly normal. Learning a new language takes time, patience, and practice. If you're interested, I can share some tips that might help you improve your language skills.
Sure. Should I also learn more vocabulary?
It's not really about vocabulary. The main issue is your hesitation. This happens because you're more used to speaking in your mother tongue. The key is to push past this hesitation and keep practicing. Speaking English may feel unfamiliar and uncomfortable at first, but that's completely normal. Wow, that's great advice. What would be your second tip? I'm glad you find these tips helpful. Another common challenge people face while learning English is the fear of making mistakes. This fear can really hold you back from practicing, which is essential for improvement. Remember, making mistakes is a natural part of the learning process, and it's okay to not be perfect.
That's actually true. Whenever I make mistakes, I feel very discouraged and want to give up.
That's a common feeling. Many people fear failure and feel demotivated when they make mistakes. This fear can prevent them from achieving their goals and hinder personal growth. The important thing is to keep practicing and pushing through these moments of doubt.
I'm eagerly waiting for more tips on how to speak fluently. Alex, what's your best advice for becoming fluent in a language?
I'm glad you want to improve. There's no single secret to becoming fluent, but practicing regularly is crucial. Even for someone like me, who speaks multiple languages, there's always room for improvement. Fluency means being able to have a comfortable conversation without feeling limited by your vocabulary or ability to express yourself. Try to have conversations with native speakers as much as possible.
That's solid advice. Now, shifting gears a bit, how are you doing today, Alex?
I'm doing well, thanks. How about you, MIA?
I'm good. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about relationships. It's interesting how they shape our perspectives on love and life.
Absolutely. Relationships, whether romantic or not, can teach us a lot about ourselves and others.
Exactly. Sometimes those lessons are difficult to process, but they ultimately help us grow and become better versions of ourselves.
Yes, it's all about learning and evolving. And it's comforting to have friends like you to share these experiences with.
I feel the same way, Alex. It's nice to know that we're not alone on this journey.
So, what's next for you on your relationship journey?
Who knows? But I'm excited to find out, and I'm glad to have you by my side through it all. What do you think are the signs that someone deeply loves you?
Great question. It can be tough to tell if someone truly loves you or if they're just interested. Some signs could be prioritizing your needs and making sacrifices without expecting anything in return. Trust, respect, and admiration are also key indicators.
That makes sense. How about knowing when you deeply love someone?
It's all about your feelings. Do you feel happy and fulfilled when you're with them? Do you think about them often and want to spend time with them? These are just a few things to consider.
Thanks, Alex. That definitely helps me understand things better. I'll keep those points in mind. You know, I've noticed that people tend to fall in love too fast these days. I think it's better to go for slow, patient, and understanding love. True love requires time.
I agree. As you mentioned, love is kind, patient, and understanding. These things take time. It's important to give yourself that time to truly know if you're in love.
Let's talk about old-time love versus present-day love. What do you think?
When you say old-time love, do you mean the kind of love our grandparents had?
Exactly. They didn't have dating apps or social media, yet they found true love and stayed committed.
I see your point, but every generation has its own challenges. Nowadays, we have more options and opportunities to meet new people, but that also means more distractions and competition.
True. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of meeting new people and forget about building a strong, lasting connection.
Absolutely. The key to a successful relationship, regardless of the time period, is communication, trust, and mutual respect. As long as we keep these things in mind, we can find love and happiness in any era.
Hey Alex, besides language learning and relationships, what hobbies do you enjoy?
Great question, MIA. One of my favorite hobbies is hiking. There's something incredibly refreshing about being out in nature, exploring new trails, and just disconnecting from the daily grind. How about you?
That sounds amazing. For me, I love painting. It's a wonderful way to express creativity and relax. I find that when I'm painting, I can really get lost in the process and forget about any stress.
That's fantastic. Painting is such a beautiful art form. Have you ever thought about combining your hobbies, like painting landscapes from your hikes?
Actually, I have. I've painted a few scenes from some of my favorite hiking spots. It's a great way to capture and remember those experiences.
That's awesome, MIA. It sounds like a perfect blend of your interests. Maybe you can share some of your artwork on our podcast page sometime.
I'd love to. And maybe you can share some photos from your hikes as well. It would be great to connect with our listeners over our hobbies. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, Alex. By the way, what's your name, and where do you live?
My name is Alex Morgan, but you can just call me Alex. I live in a small town called Maplewood, located in the northern part of the state. How about you?
I'm MIA Thompson. I'm currently a student pursuing a degree in psychology. After that, I'm hoping to study abroad in Europe. I'm really excited about the opportunities that come with my education.
That sounds amazing, MIA. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
The best advice I've ever received is to never stop learning and growing as a person. This mindset has pushed me out of my comfort zone and helped me seek new opportunities for personal and professional development.
That's great advice. Who's your favorite teacher?
My favorite teacher is Ms. Carter. She teaches my psychology class, and her passion for the subject is contagious.
What's your favorite subject?
Definitely psychology. I love understanding how the mind works and how we can use that knowledge to help people.
That's really cool. As for me, my favorite subject is history. There's something fascinating about learning how past events shape our present and future.
I agree. History is like a window into our past, and it's so relevant to our everyday lives. Do you like animals, Alex?
Absolutely. Animals are awesome. They bring so much happiness and excitement to our lives. What about you, MIA?
I love animals too. My favorite animal is probably a cat. They're so independent yet loving.
Cats are great. My favorite animal is a dog. They're so loyal and full of unconditional love.
I couldn't agree more. Well, That's all for today's podcast. If you found this episode helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.
Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next time.
Don't forget to share your favorite animal in the comment.